Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends, the Gamerverse, Wolverine vs. Silver Samurai. And as you can see right here, you got a Captain America versus Venom, which I'll be doing next. But I gotta say, big shout out to Amazon, who delivered these both together in a paper bag, just sealed. Not even a bubble mailer or anything like that. Good thing I'm not an inbox collector, or I might be mad, but order from Amazon and they're probably like, hey, some kids want them. But anyway, we're going to get into this. We're going to take a look at these. I have a few Wolverines, as we can see, kind of right there, that I'll kind of compare them to. I got some other Marvel Legends. I got a G.I. Joe Classified. I also got some Jada Street Fighter, so we can kind of compare them to, because a lot of people think that, hey, these are kind of meant to go against the Jada Street Fighter. I know this is, Marvel, but Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm one of the people that kind of thinks that. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this. Here we have the nice Wolverine. We got Silver Samurai right there. Okay, you can see the big throwing star. You can see the claw slashes. Here we have the 16-bit Wolverine, something like that. And you can see him there, and then you can see his face. And over right there, we can see the Silver Samurai. And on the back, we can see them fighting with their power. And again, very basic, very generic. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm excited. I want to see if this Wolverine is really better than the Wolverine 97, because everyone said that was the best one till this one came out. Yet no one has had this one. Or there's some people that have it, but before it happened. So we're going to find out. But anyway, before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when I drop the Marvel Legends, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Marvel Legends review. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look at the Silver Samurai first, then we'll take a look at Wolverine, and then we'll compare the height, but we'll go through the accessories first. Also, hey, let me know, do you like the new setup that I'm using? Is this easier for people to see? Is the light better? So anyway, I don't have any Silver Samurais, so what Silver Samurai does come with, along with Wolverine, is this stand. It is the same one that came with the Maximum Spider-Man. It's supposed to be like the Marvel, or the Jada Street Fighter, but very chintzy and very cheap. It seems like it'd be out of one of those quarter machines that you get like stickers and stuff from. So anyway, it just plugs in here, but you do have a couple different spots. And then you got the throwing star. And again, I'm assuming these are the effects of the game. I'm never going to use them. But there you have a big giant throwing star. Use it for whatever you want. You can kind of see how it just sits like that. And then we have a sword, and it is a translucent blue. So you got the nice handle here, the nice hilt. All right, and when you look at it, the paint is nice. It does have this nice grip to it. Very, very pliable, because again, 4 and up, but it is straight. That's all that matters. But I do like the way this looks. And then we have this effect. Now, I'm assuming this is meant for it to charge. So you do have this nice blue, and it transitions into a purple. So the blue is translucent, and then it looks like they use some sort of purple paint. So as you get up more into the purple, there's no, it's no longer translucent. And this is supposed to, I believe, just slide right through here, like it's charging. You guys tell me. You tell me if I'm on the right track. I went and looked at the box and I saw it there. Alright, so here's our Silver Samurai. Alright, now I do not have a Silver Samurai, so I'm fine getting one. Again, he has pinned elbows, pinned knees. He's on an older buck, but we know what they're doing. When someone says, well, they only put him in there because they wanted to sell it, they knew that everyone wanted the Wolverine. Yes, Hasbro is a corporation. They want to make money. Anyway, looking at the face, he has the nice gritting teeth, which do look pretty good. You can see the gums in the paint, white eyes. He's got the little red right here, and then his very known helmet, I guess you would say, like a samurai. He'll go good with Budo, maybe, from G.I. Joe. He's got the big shoulder pauldrons, and then he has his, I guess maybe that's his logo right there. I'm not exactly sure again. I know who Silver Samurai is. I don't know much about him. I'm reviewing action figures. As you look at the arms, again, older arms on a bigger buck, pinned elbows. You get down to his gauntlets here, his gloves, and you just got this little dot here. Same with right there. Now, I'm okay with pinned joints, but at this point, we know that you don't have to use pinned joints because you have other ones. It is time to transition away from it. Then he has his samurai skirt. It is on a pliable plastic, so hopefully it allows him to pose fairly decent. I mean, this is kind of the same way. It actually pops out, so probably shouldn't have to worry about that. You can kind of see how that sits. It's just a little hexagon. It pops right in there. All right, so he's got the belt. You can see where the buckle goes. Not too much to this. And then he has the little circles right there. As for his articulation, he can look up about that far, and then he can look down about that far, not so much. Side to side, can't really tilt it either. He has a nice T-pose, as we can see here. Your bicep swivel, double pinned elbows, and then he has a nice wrist that just swivel. Again, no issues here. I guess I could have just taken these off when showing it. He has the diaphragm cut, so he's able to move, and he actually gets some pretty good motion there. That's how he goes back. At the waist, he can turn at the waist, and the one thing that is real nice about this guy is he has the belt here, the skirt, so it hides the stupid cut. And yes, it is a stupid cut, but that's what they use. All right, his Jean-Claude Van Damme can only go about that far because of the skirt. And then, of course, the thigh swivel, double pin joints. There's your boot cut, ankle rockers. And this guy is a big boy, so I don't think I'm going to have any problems really posing him, standing him. You shouldn't. But let's try and get him in a... I think these things are just... I don't think it matters which way they go on. The peg... Well, actually, you know what? It's longer, so I think the longer side is going to go towards the back. So when you do take these off, if you do, just kind of look at it. One side's a little bit longer. I'd assume that goes towards the back, all right? So we can kind of throw the sword right up here. The sword isn't bad, but it's definitely pretty flimsy. Now, I believe this is just not only like old parts, but I do believe that this is a repaint. He seems soft, and what I mean by that is I had the same issue with Venom and War Machine. They seem soft, like you're gonna have a hard time standing them because they're gonna move kind of crappy. But he's just kind of here, right? We're really here for this guy, this Wolverine right here. So I'm going to move the Silver Samurai out of the way. He's going to fall over. He's actually going to be a pain to pose, to stand without using stands, and I don't use stands. So, all right, so we get the exact same thing here. All right, those things just plug in. Nice idea. It just go look at Jada's, and they're just way better. Here we have these two claws. His effects. Probably never going to use these again. Once again, it's translucent here. When you get to the paint here, again, same thing. But the lighter it is, the better it kind of looks. Now, you can use, it can either have single ones. They both can kind of plug in right there. But I believe, from what I can tell, is these are supposed to just, see these little crosses right here? The best that I could see is you kind of just plug them into each other. Oh, maybe not. That one broke off, so I guess you don't do it like that. I don't really know, man. They just kind of cross like this, and then you plug that in. I don't know. I'm never going to use them, but if you're trying to do a Gamerverse, I mean, that's kind of what you do. But be careful, because I did literally just break that one right off. I don't know what they're supposed to plug into. Like, they don't go right over each other. So it looks like they're supposed to go, I don't know. I guess like that. I guess they fit like that. I don't know why the other one, I don't know. There you go. There's the claws. I don't care about the claws. All right, so he does have 2 extra hands. All right, and we can kind of look at it here. I love this. This is one thing I hated about the movie, is the claws came out in between the knuckles. I love when they came out on top of the knuckles. He had these adamantium pieces added onto it so they could actually come out and not affect them every single time. All right, this is a nice little fist. One thing every Wolverine should have is an open hand without claws so he can pick things up. We like to do photography. So, all right. So here he is. This is the guy that everyone's been waiting for. New mold. And, yeah, let's take a look at this bad boy. All right, so, looking at his mask, he has the big ear, whatever you want to call them. These are huge. Maybe a little overdone, but again, if that's how it is in the game, then I guess it's accurate. You can see the white eyes. You can see the snarling, angry teeth right there. Nice yellow. You can see the wrinkles in his forehead. And then right here, you get the Wolverine stripes going all the way down here. All right, down to the side. We can see that he has the diaphragm cut rather than an ab crunch. We're going to see how that works. We get to the little pauldrons that kind of sit right here. And hopefully, they seem to rotate. So they seem to hopefully work pretty well. He's got the hair on his arms right here. Big, giant arms. All right, that's awesome. Wolverine's supposed to be a big, giant guy. We get the X on his belt. We got his little wrestling trunks over his tights here. And then we get down to his boots, which have the exact same look as his ears up here. So just black right down the middle, nice blue boots, and then we look at his claws, and of course they always have an issue, it seems like, with the claws always being straight, but they are fairly stiff and pretty pokey, to be 100% honest, but more pokey than I thought they would be. Not too much on his back. So as for his articulation, all right, his head can look up. That's going to be very important, and he can look down that far, side to side. Now this is the guy that would definitely benefit from having a double neck here, but when I look at him here, he actually can go down all the way like that, and then he can probably pose even further. His head goes all the way back, so be nice if he could turn maybe a little bit more like this, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. As for his T-pose, he goes there. He has his bicep swivel. He doesn't have double pinless joints. He has a single joint. But because of how big his arm is, they tried to make it so he can go as far up as possible. So he goes a little over 90 degrees. All right, so you're getting a little over 90 degrees, and we're going to compare him to the other ones in a second, or at least this one right here. I do like the angry face. You get his wrists, his claws do, his wrists go up like this, so you can see how he's holding the claws up. You have your diaphragm cut. Okay, he can go down super far, and he can go back pretty well. Good Jean-Claude Van Damme. No drop down hips. There you have your thigh cut. Double pinless knees, which he's going to need. No boot cut. I feel like they should have had a nice little boot cut there. Then he has ankle rockers. All right. So, Wolverine, very large. And what I mean by large, I mean built. Strong, right? We're going to make some adjustments here. Let's bring this down. All right. So, looking at this guy, let's see how his hands come off super easy. So, you're not going to have any issues with that. All right, so they come off super easy, no problem whatsoever. All right. So now the big thing is they showed the one look that he always has. All right. And they're like, you can finally get him into this pose, which is what people have wanted forever. Right? Something similar to like this. His neck looks up really nice. You can get him in that really small fighting pose. So I put him there. X-Men 97, who he looks really small right now. He actually looks really small. He has the ab crunch. His head can only go back so far. And to try and give a comparison of the two, knock him over. I need to really start rethinking the tables that I get. So, there's the two different versions. All right, so you can see exactly how they look. Much bigger bulk-wise, and yet smaller footprint. So his feet are bigger. His body is bigger. Everything is bigger on this guy, which makes me wonder if he's going to be taller. Also, I brought this guy here. If you happen to have the X-Men Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, if you have the Wolverine 97, that's the other head. It looks way better because it doesn't have a really weird neck. So I only brought that just for that. So anyway, there you are in his normal pose. There is a nice look right there. All right. So if I want to get him on one foot, I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. And I will say this, his plastic seems a little bit better than... So I don't have any problem getting him. I'm having a hard time like getting this guy to stand. Like his ankles, like, break them in here or something. I don't know. They seem super soft. Like I'm going to put too much pressure on them. Right? Which I really don't like. So, you really got to play around with this guy just a little bit. He does have the boot cut, so he'll stand. It may actually be this table, but again, this is a nice, decent table. It just has the split down the middle, which kind of sucks. But there you go. That is your Wolverine 97. I'm sorry, your Wolverine vs. Silver Samurai. Basically, your Marvel vs. Capcom. But now let's quickly take a look at some of these figures and kind of compare them in the height and see how they match up, all right? So I'm going to put Silver Samurai over here. We're going to take this Wolverine. We're going to stand him up. He's going to fall. So there's this guy. I'm going to use this for a pose later on. But this Wolverine is the same height. So as we can look here, this Wolverine is a little bit bigger. And this guy is more accurate from what I remember. I think they're the exact same size. You take this Mezco figure. We can see exactly how much taller he is right there. Alright, so he's that much taller. The ears are kind of hiding how much, making it seem like he's a little bit taller. Alright, here is your Snake Eyes with a polar bear. He's almost the same height, so he's getting too big for Wolverine. That's one of my huge issues right there. Alright, there is your Cable. Again, people said this is the Marvel vs. Capcom Cable. Here is our Blanca, and now we're getting much, much bigger right there, okay? I thought this is actually a pretty good comparison to do these, especially against the Silver Samurai. And then we're going to get our Ken. think it's Ken, right? Guile. It's Guile. So you can see how much taller he is. But again, you want to have these two fighting. Basically, you have your Marvel vs. Capcom. Now, if we take our Silver Samurai, you've kind of already seen how tall these guys are. But if we compare them, Silver Samurai is taller right there. So then compared to this Mezco, again, you can still see the same thing. Shorter than our Cable. And clearly, he's going to be shorter than our Blanca. But now you kind of can do your Marvel vs. Capcom, or you just do your Marvel Gamerverse, whatever you want to do. Hey, again, they're your toys. No one's really coming to pick them up, although people tend to think that. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, so there you go. That is your Gamerverse Wolverine vs. Silver Samurai. I know people have been saying this is the best Wolverine yet. I don't know. I like the height of that one. There's something about him being shorter. He's my height. That's what made him the runt. That's what made him the underdog all the time. So when you start making these figures a little bit taller, and again, Silver Samurai, I believe, is supposed to be much taller, it takes away that I'm looking up, fighting Sabretooth, all that type of stuff. That was always my issue with the Wolverine movies and the X-Men movies, even though I liked them. Hugh Jackman was great. There was this issue with him being... Well, he's taller than Sabretooth in the one Wolverine movie. But anyway, there you go. That is Wolverine Silver Samurai. You guys can decide. You can decide if this is worth the $60 I think that it cost. Because pretty much you're buying this figure and you're getting this figure with it. It's kind of like, hey, we need to get rid of this guy. We're going to throw him in the pack. But you know what you're getting. And you know why Hasbro does it. Because they want to sell... Marvel says, we need to sell this. And they go, well, we can sell it with this. That's what we can do. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You've got your quick, good look, I hope, at your Wolverine and Silver Samurai. But it's time for me to get out of here. And you know what you've got to do. You're like, hey, you know what? You've been doing lots of Marvel Legends stuff, and I think it's actually awesome. So please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Marvel Legends review. Now, don't go anywhere. You're like, hey, have you done any more of this Gamerverse? And you're in luck. I have. I'm going to drop a video right here, and down here will be a playlist of all the Marvel Legends stuff that I've done. Take care.